What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the 20 Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Spider. That's right. Our show is brought to you by Beatsource, the music streaming service for DJs that play everything. Beatsource has got all the music you could need for any and every gig. We got expertly curated playlists. We got songs no other record pool has. We have got Beatsource Link. I mean, it's incredible. You can DJ from the cloud, stream the songs into your DJ hardware or software. It's pretty incredible. So visit beatsource.com for a free 30-day trial or use our code THE20 for a free 60-day trial. Get up on there. Let me know what you think. Send me a DM on Instagram at DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER, and make sure you rate and review the podcast on Apple, Spotify, all the different platforms. Thank you. Thank you to all the Beatsourcers, our loyal listeners, and everybody that is part of this. Thank you to the team that makes this happen. Vlats, Anthony, Beatsource, everybody. We love you. And now let me tell you about today's guest. We've got our second returning guest in the history of this podcast. We've only had one person return, and this is the second person. And it's only right because they are such a dope DJ. And the first time we talked was August 2020, prime lockdown pandemic. So we were really, talking about how Twitch was becoming this big thing. Like, Trump was president. All these crazy things were happening at the time. And now to look back on that and have him come in now is amazing. And, back then he was one of the longest running, biggest open format DJs. One of the kings of Vegas, longest running DJs out there, and just traveling the world through DJing, doing so many amazing projects. And he has come back out of the pandemic the same way. He's got an amazing new residency we talk about. He's got an amazing retreat he's putting together with DJ City that we discuss. We just talk about so many little gems, all the way from travel tips to just things you could use in your life and being, wealthy in your mind versus your bank account. And I think a lot of important things were talked about this, and a lot of funny stuff and a lot of cool things. So I just enjoyed being able to catch up with him face to face. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So please welcome to the podcast, DJ Vice.
We're talking. You just said you were drinking some shit, and I was like, "What?"
I'm drinking some shit. All right,
go ahead.
DJ Vice is on the show. Make some noise, everybody. Come on. Oh my God! Listen to that crowd. Listen to that crowd.
Crickets. Dang,
Well,
all right.
we're in the Beatsource office. Last time Vice was on, it was August 2020. We were locked in our house.
Lockdown.
Full lockdown.
Yeah.
Like
August 2020 was
August
my last
2020,
pod with you?
like a year and a half. So, and I went back and listened to it because I had no recollection of what we talked about. And like, I wrote down some notes. I'm like, last time we talked, I said, I had just got off club hopping on Twitch and I was watching DJ5 do the pour over. Remember that?
Yes.
And we were we're on full lockdown. We had all these conversations about how Twitch was just starting to blow up for DJs, and Donald Trump was president, which, wow, that's crazy to say out loud.
Yeah.
And we were saying March 2021, we will be fully back to normal, which, what are we now? March 2022.
Yeah. March 2021, I was my first DJ gig back. So that
we were right a little bit. And then it just went on this roller coaster of insanity up and down.
Wow, dude. So that was, okay, that was a minute. Life has changed. The world has changed.
Oh,
my outlook on life has changed, I'm sure.
We were talking about drinking a lot on that episode. You were like, we were talking about drinking on Twitch. You were talking about doing tequila tasting. And now I think you've been sober.
318 days, no alcohol. Alcohol free.
Applause.
Alcohol free. I can't say sober. I mean, I drink canned drinks which have THC, so.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty much sober.
Alcohol free.
I feel like people that smoke weed still say they're sober because it's like a lighter.
Alcohol free.
Yeah, alcohol.
Free. 318 days. 318 days in our world as DJs, like, to not have a sip of alcohol.
That's incredible.
And I've been back since as far as shows since March 2021.
That's the thing. If you would have said that during the pandemic and you were home, that's still impressive.
I wouldn't have thought that.
But being out, back in clubs, I mean, that's the hardest place for us to not drink, I think. Right?
I mean, why not just dive right into the deep end and talk about this, right?
Let's do it. All right.
318. And I am like
that's
a
incredible.
firm believer, like, I actually am gonna speak for myself. No one just stops drinking just to stop drinking. Like that doesn't, you don't wake up and be like, I don't think I want to drink anymore. Like that doesn't happen. Like at least it didn't happen for me. And I want to be transparent about that. There's reasons behind it. Yeah. Like I like a lot of us were drinking during the pandemic, and I thought I was drinking equivalent to the same amount, maybe the way I used to drink on the road. But I realized when I went back out to shows, my tolerance was shot, and like I couldn't drink the same way I drank, and the hangovers were kicking in. Right. A 2-day hangover. I was like, whoa, this is like rough. Yeah. Plus I think as DJs, we weren't on that grind again where it was like show after show after show. It was like one show and then you're waiting like 2 weeks for the next or something like that. Yes. So like that hit, and then, just the hangovers were not fun, and like blacking out during DJing is not a great feeling to be like, to have to go back into your Serato history and be like, what did I play after that point? And then you're like, that cringe of,
seeing an Instagram story where you're like,
like
what was
it was
going
just
on?
like, it was just an awakening moment for myself to be like, I want to like, I came out of the pandemic. We're alive. I'm healthy. I want to be focused. For myself personally, I want to be able to get back to my family and be able to take care of my daughter and be in full-time family mode and not have to recover from 2-3 hours of partying at a nightclub. So I just had like that moment of like, I need to tap out. And plus like after a couple of those strikes of like drinking too much at gigs and like blacking out, then I was like, dude, this is not healthy for myself, for my family, and for my future as a DJ. So I just stopped. I had to stop.
That's commendable, to say the least. Like and it's really cool that you had you're self-conscious enough to be able to just like do that and make that change.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard. I know you're known for tequila and drinking and partying and Vegas and, being in with the people buying the tables and, so it is a big change. But I think you can still do that and still be in the zone. And like, I've been with you at gigs since then, and I've seen videos of you, and it's like, you're on point, when you're sober. I think there's a difference in, you're very like, you can be surgical with your sets. Like, I'm playing this, I'm playing that. So it brings a different level of focus, and the stuff with your family and getting older, and
that's the first part. Like that trumps everything in the sense you said Trump was president. That Trump came back in.
We're allowed to use that again now, I think.
But it's first and foremost, it was like I was letting my family down. Yeah, because I'm not coming back 100%, and it's acceptable for me to come home now and be like, I'm just tired. I want to sleep. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm more tired. Sometimes just being tired, I have to get over that part of it.
Right. So, like, but to come back and be like, I'm hungover and tired, it's like, it just didn't, it didn't sit well with me. So, that, and then, now I can focus on everything else I want to accomplish right now, and it gives me more energy and time. So, that was my,
Amazing
push behind it.
Yeah, that's so dope. Yeah, we got some questions from people. I mean, I could ask them now since we're talking about it.
Since, we started with a taboo subject in the sense where DJs are like, a lot of DJs do hit me on the side, like, how are you not drinking? How are you doing this? How are you turning down shots? And it's funny because I've actually, I'm going to speak on this that I saw on like, I thought, my algorithm on TikTok's pretty good because it's listening to what I'm saying right now. So like this alcohol one came up, and it's like, it is the one drug when you tell someone like, oh, I'm not drinking, they're like, what? Why? And you're like, you get all these questions, right? Yeah. But if it's like, you're like, yo, let's do some heroin. And I'm like, dude, no, I don't do that. And you're like, and no one's gonna be like, what? Why? Why don't you do that? And you're like, no one's gonna ask you that, right? Yeah. Or like, even like, let's do a bump of Coke, bro. And you're like, no. I'm like, what? Why don't you do that? Like, it doesn't happen, right?
I know.
But with alcohol, it's always the what? How come?
Right.
Why aren't you drinking?
Yeah.
What do you like? Like,
especially in our industry, and the way it's portrayed.
Exactly. So throw a question out there. I'm open.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. Like, how do you turn down the shots? Because you want to feel that connection with everybody, and I think sometimes those nerves before you DJ, like, or I don't know, there's something about doing the shot and feeling, okay, I'm connected with the crowd now. But I do think it's a false illusion of being connected with the crowd, because then, like you said, you go back later and look at your history or see videos and you're like, oh, that wasn't good. Right. And probably you would have a better understanding of what's going on if you were sober. But but I don't know. It's like a crutch in a way. You almost feel like you have to do it, right? And then you finally break that cycle or that habit, and you're like, oh my God, I made it through. And now you're almost a full year in, and obviously you've proved to yourself and everyone else that you can do it.
Right. Yeah, I feel that it's like a muscle that I'm still like constantly working out.
Right.
Where I just say no, like, you know what I mean? I'm a people pleaser. I know I am. I'm a people pleaser. I say yes. I would say yes to every shot and enjoy it and have a great time.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same time, like, I actually know that in the sense that I have so much conviction that I'm like not drinking anymore.
Right.
That when I tell people I'm not drinking, they feel it. They feel when I say that to them, like I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't have to say this is a hard no, I'm not drinking. It's just like, I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, they kind of feel that impact. Like,
I know.
Oh,
and I think people in Vegas want to joke about it. Like I remember I saw you at the Vice on Ice thing and you were DJing and I was over on the side and there's a lot of people there and I don't even know who, but one or a couple people were like, oh man, can't believe Vice isn't drinking, or, you know, it almost seemed like disappointed in a way. And I was like, let the guy live. Like, I think he's drank enough by now. I think he knows what he's doing. Like, why do you care? You know?
Right. It's also, you know, like you realize who also rides for you.
Yeah.
Like, you also feel that too. So it's a big, like, you know, note for DJs to notice, like when you are on the road and you are around your local, like especially think about local DJs in the scene, like they play their same venue over and over and over, week after week after week. You kind of see who's your support team in the sense of like who wants you to win and who wants you to grow as an artist, as a DJ, as a producer, whatever, where you're like, no, I'm just focused right now, I don't want to drink or whatever. And they're like, oh, cool, good for you.
Right.
You're like, that's a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
That's someone I want to be around.
Yeah, like I'd rather have you be alive and like with your family and have a long life than be drunk. Even though, okay, it's fun to be drunk or something, but it's like
and I've lost personal friends to just straight alcohol. Like I don't want that. I don't wish that upon anybody, you know. So in that sense, it's just about first, you know, it ties into like the people you surround yourself with in this industry is how is who is going to essentially help you grow to the point that to get to the point that you want to get to in your career. That's what I feel. Yeah.
And like you said, you drink those canned drinks, which are like THC, but I don't think those are the best to drink when you're social DJing, because they're like mellow, but they are pretty amazing.
Weed and DJ.
No, smoking weed and DJing is not, you know, only for a specific type of person, I think, if they could do it. But drinking those are more lightweight, but I still don't.
It's just a mental thing to get me in a cool space.
They're better at
DJing,
night.
Like outside of that,
it's like a glass of wine type thing. But I couldn't.
Exactly. No,
they bring you down in a way.
The presence that I have while I'm DJing now, and I've done this before because I've ran marathons where I stopped drinking for 6 months. Or
I remember that.
I've done a year before. But like the presence that I have and thinking 3 records ahead sometimes in my own head, I'm like, oh, wow. Like I don't have to last minute search for that one record, or now that I'm on USB.
You're like in the Matrix, like everything's going around you and you can plan it. It's like chess. You know, you're planning ahead.
It's probably like, I mean, it's like how a basketball player like does that no look pass. Like they already saw that where they were gonna go with this play.
Right.
Like less than halfway down the court, they're already like, this is what I'm gonna do and this is gonna happen.
You're right.
Or like in that they just so like feel that I'm in this moment now where I'm like I'm in a flow state where I'm like, okay, cool, I know where I'm going. It's not a pre-programmed set at all. Like I know you don't pre-program, I don't pre-program. But it's just like you're able to like mentally map out how I'm going to ride this wave and take this story of a night. Yeah.
That's so cool. And yeah, imagine if they were drunk in the basketball court. Like, I don't think they'd be able to do the no-look pass, you know?
Right.
As fun as it is, you know, we are there working, you know, and it's fine either side. But yeah,
either
I think
side.
that,
no, I'm not,
you know.
I'm advocate for both sides.
But no, I mean, Richard Vision came on and was like, he's completely sober every gig forever. And I didn't know that, you know, and the way he talked about it, like,
and that's wild. Cause I mean, my first big nightclub experience is watching Richard Humpty Vision play at a club in LA called The Dome.
Wow.
Which is like his original stomping ground.
Yeah.
And being in there and hearing him play. And that was such an impactful night in my life in house music. And his set was just so flawless and it built, and I was like, dude, I was young. This is probably like 93. No, sorry. I take that back. It's probably like 94, 95. And hearing that and being like so inspired, and think about it. He's so present. He's clear. He's focused. He's not drunk. He's not. He didn't have sloppy mixes.
Right.
Seem like
that's what he talked about on here. He's like, you know, one time I did a shot before and it was a horrible set, and I'm like, that's so interesting. Like
one shot.
Yeah, and there's so many times where I'm like, okay, here we go. You know, like. What just happened last night? Yeah. I mean, the questions people wrote in, it was like Ryan Lucero just said, how is it DJing sober? And DJ Zoe said, how has it been not drinking during sets, especially the beginning? I think he means, I don't know if he means the beginning of the set or the beginning of trying to go sober, like the first couple months.
That learning curve of 2 to 3 months of like getting yourself out of your head and being like, you know, because you take those wild chances when you're drinking. You're like, fuck it, let's play this. Right. Fuck it, let's play that. Like that. Like you don't necessarily take those, or I don't right now, and I'm more in a sense strategic in the way I'm gonna ride this wave. And at the end of the night, I'm able to like reflect on everybody's feedback on my set. Yeah, and so far it's been very positive. And I also really appreciate the comments I get from the lighting guy, the busser who's there every week. You know what I mean? Like the security guard as I'm walking out, like, yo, that was a really fire set. Because like they hear everyone. They're listening to those sets over and over from all these DJs. So when I walk out and I get some compliments from those guys, that really just is a reassurance to myself, like, I'm playing a fucking good set. Yes. Like, this is, because I'm still in my head. I'm still in my head like, wow, I shouldn't have gone that way, or maybe it would have been better if I played this song or this. Right. And then I get a couple of those compliments on the way out, and I'm like, all right. Maybe I didn't do so bad. You know, it's just we're hard on ourselves as DJs. We want to be
I love that me and you are both like that. Like same. We've done these clubs so many times, the biggest clubs, but same thing. Oh, did that go good? What did I do? I'm overanalyzing. And even 2 weeks ago, I got to do Marquee on a Sunday, and oh my God, the amount of time I probably spent too much but preparing and overthinking and making edits, and, you know, just the day of, like in my room, getting everything together.
You're like, I got to get back. I got to download more music. And you're like, download. Then you go down the download black hole where you just keep getting more and more records. And then
at one point, I'm like, stop downloading. Just take what you got. Like, you've made it this far. Why do you need to download anything? Yeah, and then I was making edits, and I was making an intro and everything till the last second. I saw Shecky Green, and he's like, you know, you're overthinking that, you know, you're putting too much work into this. Not too much. Like, he was like, it's good, but like, it paid off. Like, it went well. I got good comments, like you said, you know, like Greg Lopez, open and close. He gave me compliments, and it's good to hear from people like that hear a lot of other people. And I'm like, you know what? It paid off, all the work I put into it, you know, and all my overthinking. You know, and especially coming out of the pandemic, like some of the I've had a few sets where I'm like, that was horrible. You know, like, what is wrong with me? Like, maybe, and then I
had sets where I don't even remember. So
right. I'm glad that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But to I mean, you're a great interviewer, and I think I like to talk a lot, but to twist this in and to kind of bring it to the next phase is, you know, we talked off camera about the
USB sticks, right? No, that was precisely where I was going to go with it. Was that?
But this makes sense and exactly why.
Right. Is that because that's been sort of like an excuse for me, like, oh, I don't know if I could do USB sticks. Like, if I'm drinking, I don't know what's happening, or I can't look through, and the thing's small, which is just an excuse. You know, it's just a matter of working on it. But yeah, so you know, like I had Politic on last week. He's on USB sticks doing REKORDBOX for most of his gigs, or pretty much all of them. And then I mentioned it to you, and you're like, me too. Yeah, and dude. I saw you at some of the gigs, and then it goes hand in hand with being sober and being able to really focus on what's happening to do this new thing. So yeah, let's talk about that.
So
like,
big up Politic as well as Ruckus. I both know that they're on USB sticks.
Right.
And I saw that as well as being inspired. I'm always inspired by DJs, like in so many different ways. So I was like, damn, Politics. He's like, bro, all I have is a USB stick. That's it, and the headphones.
It feels like you're cheating.
Yeah. And then Ruckus told me the same. I went to dinner with Ruckus in Vegas before a gig at Zook, and then I was like, really? And then I had just got the 3000s and the CDJ 3000s. Yeah. So I started messing with them, and I'm like, wow, this search feature, like typing in, is so fast now. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm not drinking. I have the 3000s. I have no excuse.
Right. The search feature too has Politic was here last week, and we have a whole setup in the other room with the 3000s, and he was showing me a few things I didn't know too, with like that the color will show up, that the key it's in. Yeah. Different organization ways.
You can scrub the waveform with your fingers in the headphones and listen to different tracks real quick in the in the in your window. I don't know if I can properly explain it because I'm still learning these things. And just so
that's dope.
Yeah,
okay.
and then I used the program doesn't even have any support anymore, but it's called REKORDBOX.
Right.
And I used REKORDBOX to transfer a lot of my Serato crates into REKORDBOX.
Right. I used Record Cloud. It's like another one.
So it moved everything over. Yeah, it's still a mess. My things, and I'm still trying to organize, but I literally just, got some crates together, got my cue points. I spent like a week in the studio just trying to understand CDJs and work with them. I mean, I've been on CDJs for years with HID mode,
right,
but never with REKORDBOX. So
yeah.
And then I just dove in head first. It was like, I was thinking, should I try and have my laptop set up and go?
I know.
And I was like, no, just leave your laptop in the room and you have no safety net. Just jump in the deep end, right?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So I left the laptop and I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Damn.
And I played Zook.
I was going to say, you're doing it at probably one of the biggest clubs in the world and the most hyped new club. It's not like you're doing it on some low stakes gig too.
And I've been on maybe the last 6 to 8 shows I've done in different places have all been USB. And I have some little stories where okay, that definitely didn't know that was going to happen.
What have you learned, pros and cons, I guess?
One of them was on REKORDBOX. I have a setting where to load the next record, I have to stop the CDJ from playing. So I mix out of that song.
So you don't
I go to the right.
accidentally.
I go to channel 2, and on channel 1 over here, I'm looking for the next song that I'm going to play.
Yeah.
But it's still spinning the last song, right?
Right.
And then I see it. Oh, I'm going to play that one. I click it. But it tells me to stop the song, right?
Okay.
But I didn't stop the song because I'm in the middle of a show and I look up and I don't know I just wasn't exactly paying attention at that point because I look at the other
you
CJ.
Thought you had loaded it.
I thought I loaded it, right?
No, yeah.
So then I bring it to the first beat and I really quickly and I'm match it in, but it was the song that just played.
Oh, no.
And house records have the same kind of intro, right? So I'm not really and I'm still semi-nervous on USBs,
with that
right?
setup, yeah.
So, and by the way, I had just played the first song of the intro of my set where the confetti blows and all that. And then the second song. So I literally went back to the first song that I just played.
Oh my God.
And it comes in, it's and I was like, oh shit, I just played this song.
I wonder how many people actually noticed.
They didn't because I the vocal started coming in and then I was like, shit. So I just looped a vocal and then got the next song on the other side and built that up and sounded
it's some new DJ technique. You're
bro,
remember this one? I'm going out of it.
Rewind that air horn. And
oh my God.
So so I still and while I'm DJing right now, I'm when I do grab my phone, which is very rare when I'm DJing, I'm writing down a quick mental question that I have.
Right.
About REKORDBOX.
Well, it's like Serato. We had to learn we had to make so many errors, Yes. I had to load the wrong song and do a million things, push the wrong button.
Do you remember when you would hit reverse on Serato
and you don't know how to get out of it?
I have to pull out a note in my phone because I would reverse the right side track and I still don't know what it is.
That
it was
still
Q or R or something like that.
It's happened to me in the middle of a club recently and then I had to put the CDJ on backwards, the only way to DJ. And I was like, oh, what's happening? And it's going backwards but listening forwards.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not good.
So I've switched over. I have Serato still completely set up. And I think if I do a private event, and need to not if I don't know where I'm going to go with my set, in one of those situations, then maybe I'll bring it out. But right now I'm just slowly getting my REKORDBOX in order and getting the USB. And I do like that. I'm if that drunk girl comes by the DJ booth and spills a drink, it's not my CDJ.
It's not your stuff.
It's not my shit. It's just my USB.
Yeah.
Because the laptop is not there. So I have no danger zone right now. And we've all seen those horror stories, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
laptop falling or getting stuff spilled on it.
I don't have that worry. I don't have that worry right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying this. And it's growth as a DJ getting me out of my comfort zone. And I'm big on that.
That's what it's all about. And that's what everything you've said since we started, you know what I mean? Going sober, jumping right into the USB stick, and just constantly staying curious and being inspired. I think that's the key to longevity in all of this stuff. And in any industry, but especially DJing. If you get complacent and just do the same shit over and over, that's when you get bored and your sets stay the same. And I think,
the day before yesterday, a 17-year-old was teaching me REKORDBOX.
Amazing.
Like I was sitting with him and he was like, I'm like, what about this? What about that? What about this? And he's like teaching me all this stuff. And I was like, I'm still curious. I'm 43.
Yeah. Right.
I started DJing at like 12 years old.
Crazy.
So like this 17-year-old is teaching me REKORDBOX.
Yeah.
But I was still like asking him all, and he literally was like, oh, I have to go in like 15 minutes. I was supposed to meet up with my friends. But he knew REKORDBOX like in and out. He had been on it for years. So he had been on since REKORDBOX 1. Yeah. Shout out to Kai. His name's Kai.
Kai, thank you.
And yeah, he's from his dad works with Pioneer. So
oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. And he knew it all in and out. So he was helping me out, DJ Kai.
That's crazy. Is that Lars's son?
Yeah, Lars's son.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I was like, he knows REKORDBOX. Sit down. Teach me, man. Teach me.
That's incredible. So what did you transfer over? Like some past sets and then some crates that you dig out of, like freestyle?
The crates that I dig out of. And then what I did on a technical thing was I went through my Serato history.
Yeah.
Through all like the last like 6 months of shows.
Right.
And I was just making sure all those records were in a crate.
Yes.
Because I'm like, in the last 6 months, if I haven't played this song right now, it's probably going to be pretty rare that I'm going to need to whip that out. And eventually, I'll start moving those other records and other songs.
Yeah, so you
crates.
could be ready for any situation.
So
like
right now, all these shows I have, I'm pretty set. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of times I'm hitting that search and then typing it in and finding it.
Wow.
So that's helping. 3,000's great. I did do an event and I showed up and they didn't have the 3,000, there were 2,000s, and I was like, oh shit. And it still worked out. So it wasn't that bad.
Right. Cause you don't need to search that much, I'm sure. Like you probably just can go through even, I save some of my old sets or little routines or just crates of big room, you know, and hip hop and new and old.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm enjoying this. Like
that's so dope.
This next wave. Yeah.
Wow.
But those things are so tiny. I'm going to lose it so soon.
I know. The one I have is way too small. Like I've already left it a couple times at places and just been like, whoever gets that just totally got hooked up. Yeah.
Enjoy.
What do you have a specific drive? Like, is there a speed or a size?
Even know. The one thing that someone told me is get the USB-C because I have a 2019 like you. We always talk about I hate that 2019. But one side's USB-C, one side's USB-A.
Oh.
So I plug it in USB-C to load all the music because it's fast. And then at the gigs, you just flip the other side and you put USB-A in.
Oh, so you don't need the little
adapter. That's what slows down the transfer process.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what the nerdy talk I had with someone else. They're like, get a USB-C on the dual drive, USB-C, USB-A, yeah. And just to side note why we hate the 2019, it's they mashed up the arrow keys with the shift key right there on that one, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Look at, see that? Right there, those keys are mashed together where all the other years they're spaced out. So when you rest your finger on there during Serato and searching for songs, no one knows what we're talking about because you don't have this laptop in front of your
and it has the touch bar screen, which is so annoying. I'm constantly like in the middle of my set, like Siri, like, are you sure you want to turn me on? I'm like, no, don't even do anything right now.
Exactly.
Wow, crazy. That's dope. Inspirational. I have my REKORDBOX USB 2, but I've not used it in a club. But shit, I'm in Vegas tomorrow. I'll just force myself.
Yeah, it's not as fast. There's still a lot of little things that I'm like, damn, I'm not doing this. I was way better on HID mode about this, but I'm like, it's a learning curve like anything.
It's just like anything else. You're going to learn. You write down those things. You practice. It's like being an athlete. You know, you have to like, I don't know, get your home court advantage on or something.
Totally.
You know?
I like how DJs always bring up like the reference to athletes, and I just
but we're not athletes.
But we're not. And I talked about this to someone because I went on a run, right? I literally talked about this today with a friend because I did a 3-mile run. I run every day, as you know.
Yeah.
And then I went on a run with my friend today. We went to high school together. He's like, "Damn, man, you're still able to run." He's like, "My knees and this," and I go, dude, you played sports. Like you played volleyball, you played basketball and all that growing up. I go, I stood behind a DJ booth. I didn't do anything. We weren't even jumping up and down then.
Yeah.
So I go, so my knees and my joints and everything, they're fine.
See, all those people that were athletes earlier, it's now
they're all
good.
Damaged. Yeah. Only thing for us is our ears are shot.
Yeah. My ears definitely have been ringing like crazy lately.
Exactly. But that's another thing I'm trying. I have tinnitus. That's
me too.
Mine has not gone away for 10 years. And
it's like, that's the one thing on my kid. I'm like, protect your ears. Like I try to be like cool dad, but I'm like, yo, trust me, you don't want this. You know,
I do see the difference in like the younger demographic of DJs.
They're all into it.
I
wish it would have been pushed back then. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even a thing.
We have Google. So we didn't know how to search, like, how should I protect my ears?
Yeah, there was no, I didn't know.
There was no company making these earplugs that we knew of.
By the time I found out, it was too late. Like
JBL Eons, those Eon speakers at Mobiles that were the worst speakers that tore apart. And do you want to hear my, like, comparison why we can't start wearing earplugs?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the part's probably going to go viral, right? So we've been DJing 20 plus years, 30 years, right? And we've been fucking the nightclub raw, right? It's been no protection, no protection, right?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I've been married 10 years now. And I don't want to wear a condom with my wife. I'm just not. I'm not going to start wearing protection with her. We're comfortable with each other. We're
right.
Committed to each other, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I've been with a nightclub.
Oh man.
I don't want to start wearing protection.
I know.
Because it's so hard. It doesn't feel the same.
I know.
It doesn't feel the same. I'm like, I put it in.
It's funny because it truly doesn't feel the same, like in your body, even like the music and everything.
I think I heard
that is a good analogy.
Say, oh, and I'm like, oh, damn, there's more than two people saying, oh, like they're screaming along or, ooh, or something, you know? Like, there's more, and it's so difficult. Yes, it's so bad for us, but it's such a pattern that we've already been engraved in. It's
so hard. Like, I keep trying to wear them. I know. I even bought this special pack that had a microphone. They have two little microphones in the in-ears, and then you wear it as a pack, and you can turn up and down, and you can hear the outside. Yeah, you can hear the outside crowd and turn them up or down, but it was so complex, like, to deal with. And
where are those, in a drawer?
Yeah, okay, I don't even. Actually, I don't know. They're somewhere. They're in my studio, but I can't use them.
And I know, like, anything habit forming, like, ways in the sense of, like, being able to DJ without drinking.
You'd be able to do it if you just practiced.
Just not there yet. Let me go one step at a time.
Yeah. And it's like, already I've gone to the doctor and they're like, you're done. Like, you're never going to stop ringing. And so I'm like, all right, it's kind of like disheartening. So
yes.
Like, all right, let's just keep doing it. I'll just try to turn it down when I can.
Yeah,
but
I've been trying to level. Yeah, I do think I might have gone down a little bit because I'm not drinking and I'm not, but then people at the end of the night, damn, your monitors are so loud. I'm like,
oh my God.
Really?
I know.
I guess.
Just my gig 2 weeks ago, I felt like I had it too much because the past 2 weeks it's been extra like ringing and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, man. So if DJs are younger that are listening to this,
yo, wear earplugs.
Wear protection,
get the custom ones.
Strap up.
Pay that money.
Strap up.
You know, or just get a big thing from CVS. Yeah, strap up in both ways.
Don't go in raw like Spider and I in the club.
Until you have a wife or, you know. But yes, that's a good analogy and it's true. And it's so hard and it sucks. I hate, you know, like I try to explain to people and they cannot comprehend what I'm saying. I'm like, no, it's ringing all the time. And they're like, really? I'm like, yes.
Yes. It doesn't go away.
Like at all. I can hear it over stuff.
I hear it now.
Yeah, me too. Oh God. Damn, old DJ stuff. Yeah. Crazy. So so we mentioned that you played on USB sticks at Zook, which that club didn't even exist last time we were, you know, doing this podcast. I think it existed in Asia. There was one in Hong Kong, right?
In Malaysia, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, Malaysia. I don't know, but since then, huge places open in Vegas, Resorts World, and they've got tons of food and clubs and all types of stuff. And they opened a day club that's massive, and they opened Zook nightclub, which is probably the newest, best, biggest spot, you know, and it's just massive.
Dude, it's massive.
Every amazing DJ is there, right? And
the residency lineup is deep right now.
It's crazy deep. Yeah. And it's super dope, too, because it's everybody from the big room, like Tiesto people, to like, it's all over the place,
Carl
really.
Cox to Snake to... Yeah,
and they had like J Balvin and like artists, like true big concerts, and
Martinez brothers played there,
and then people like you and Ruckus, Politic, you know, dope DJs.
Well. Silver, DJ Silver's there.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Silver. They have like and he plays. I know he DJs a lot of country concerts and events, but
he plays a straight fire club set.
That's what I was gonna say. He doesn't really. Maybe he mixes that stuff in there or something, but that's not what his night is there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not country night, but yeah, it's a very diverse lineup, you know. Snake still on turntables in there, which
that's
is
crazy.
wild.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're all this talk about USB. DJ Snake, one of the biggest DJs in the world. He's on green looking Scratch Live with turntables,
yes,
and potentially a box. I don't even know what he uses,
keeps it
but
real, bro.
that's
so
crazy that he hasn't even changed over or upgraded
I respect
at all.
that. I
definitely do. He's like, it's been working. I'm sticking with it.
Sticking with it, dude. Yeah, there's a little part of me of like, dang, I miss Scratch Live.
Right. I mean,
turntables and Scratch Live was an era.
I mean, I know. That's crazy. I haven't seen him DJ for a minute, too. Like, I remember seeing him at the Win and a couple places, and I was impressed by his set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
dope.
it was really good.
He's still a DJ, like a DJ's DJ.
Like,
yeah,
for
he's
real.
Dope. So, yeah, Zook is
new
what's residency. That? I've already played a handful of shows from my first weekend was like New Year's week, so that was a big lineup in the sense of like I didn't even know like my first flyer was like with Tiesto and Zed and all these. And I'm like,
oh my god,
oh damn,
yeah.
Like, there's a legit like roster that they have over here. So I'm currently a resident exclusivity in Vegas right now for 2022.
Amazing.
So
also crazy because I feel like you were kind of with one company.
Yeah, I was with Tao Group since they opened, really.
Right?
2005, I started.
I was going to say, at least 15 years you've been doing Tao and
Marquee,
I remember there was that one year you went over to Pure at Caesar's Palace way back 10, 12 years ago. Or
that
something.
Was, so I've been with Tao Group in Vegas since 2005 when they opened Tao nightclub restaurant.
Right.
And the only year I stepped away was when AM opened LAX.
Yeah.
And DJ AM asked me to play at LAX and Pure.
Right.
And I went over there for 1 year and then I was like, peace, I got to go back to Tao Group.
Right.
So I did that. And then this is the second time I've ever stepped away in Vegas only because I still am going to be doing New York dates and Chicago dates because they have venues, LA, they have venues around the world.
Nice.
But in Vegas, I was able to, make a change and have a new room to play in. I know how it is as a DJ. It feels good to have a fresh new room and a new vibe and just a new audience that I'm playing to out there. And it once again got me out of my comfort zone. And I'm on a lineup with heavy hitters and if you want to say A-list, EDM talent over there.
Yeah,
so it's like
course.
I have to up my game and continually push myself to become, a better DJ, release music, and do everything that involves being a DJ now.
Right. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. It's not just showing up to the gig. Yeah. So it's definitely exciting. It's fun. I'm playing, a show a month. Sometimes I have 2 next month as well. So I have day club shows, and it's just it's exciting to play a new room.
Oh, that's great, and it's cool that you're able to keep your relationship with Tao Group and still play that other club, but then continue to do all their other stuff. And,
I think you said the word relationships. That's what our industry is based on, man.
Exactly.
That's what you have to definitely understand in this DJ world.
Right.
These relationships that you start from day one in your DJ career can take you throughout. It's the lifespan of your DJ career.
Yeah.
And from meeting a busser from a nightclub that now is a GM of a mega nightclub in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like I have all those different stories where I've seen people grow to the position they're at. So keeping those relationships with them is a big, is a big part of your career that you have to understand.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, within all of it, the private event world too. I mean, someone just hit me up a couple days ago and she's like, oh, I just started working at a new company and we're doing Spotify's Grammy event and we want you to DJ. It ended up, I don't think I'm going to do it. So, but just the fact that I think I met her at when Sub 51 opened for, RJ Melman and Jared Melman's spot in Chicago like 15 years ago or 12 years ago. Yeah. And she worked there and then has gone on to do all these huge events and she always recommends me. And, just things like that. Like you have to keep these relationships over the years. And also you don't want to get super drunk and have them remember you like that. There's so many different ways that you could burn those bridges too, so that kind of goes back to the, so, not that everyone has to be sober, but you just got to think about, about your actions,
and just the appearance that you have at these gigs as well. And, just touching on the AM thing. I remember AM called me after a Body English night and like yelled at me because I was too drunk. And he's like, I heard you were a mess. I heard you were drunk at the gig, da-da-da. And he's like, remember what you have. Like, you have this gig in Vegas. And this is 2004.
Wow.
And him like, bro, like, you have a good spot there. Da-da. And he, like, checked me.
Crazy.
Like a big brother. And I was like, jeez. Like, and it was like, okay, like, and I mean, still, I mean, I continually drank after that,
Yeah.
but, and I had slip ups here and there and stuff like that, but it's still like going back to what we talked about earlier, is those people in your life that have your back and look out for you, that you have to keep close and understand that they have your best interest in your career.
Yeah. And he's someone to really think about, inspiration from someone who was able to become sober and be one of the most amazing, incredible DJs who we still listen to their sets, you know, 15, 20 years later, and they're incredible. And he was doing that sober. Which must have been so hard for him. But, you know, because so people that look at alcohol as the crutch, or like, you're not going to have good relationships, or you're not going to have a good time, you're not going to be able to relate to the crowd. Like, look what he did. Look what you're doing here. So it's definitely possible.
And yeah, just relationships overall, that, and then in these relationships, I kind of like, will give you like the broad view that I have since we last talked. We were in the middle of the pandemic. My view on even gigs has changed, where I'm like, I definitely was more quantity, and I was like, let's get these gigs and let's go quantity. And now I'm understanding more than ever the quality of my gigs and where I'm choosing to play, and as well as because I want the quality of my life to be better. I want to be happier, like in the sense of going home and enjoying more of my life, you know, than just grind. And I understand that that in a sense I can say this because I grinded so long and I got to this point. But there's a balance that you can figure out in your life of quality over quantity.
And like working smarter, not harder. And if there's people you want to be around there for, you know, and go to Disneyland with your family or whatever. Like, I used to make sure I was booked every weekend, which I'm so thankful that was possible. But I would be like, oh my God, I'm not booked this weekend. Like there's a huge problem, you know? And then now I can kind of deal with it psychologically better, and also try to pick and choose what I'm doing more. And sometimes I'd rather do 1 or 2 huge private events in a month if I can get it, you know, and then worried about, oh, I got to do this club and this club and this club, you know, and then mix them in with the clubs. You said
you mentioned mental health, and that's a big topic in our DJ world, because it's like keeping our brain clear, you know, and for me, it's like, you know, right now, it's really like, I truly feel like wealthy in my life. And when I say that, it's like a big statement to say that. I feel wealthy because I have like everything I need outside of, I'm not talking financial. I'm saying I feel wealthy because I have a daughter that loves me. I have a son that wants to hang out with me, that's 23 years old, that went to the club with me last week. I have a healthy marriage. I have health that I'm able to like take care of myself and run. I have true quality friendships. I have a circle around me that I love and I trust. And I'm like, that's wealth to me. Like I have what I want. I'm able to, you know, have that weekend off and spend the time with my family and have those moments and those memories. So like that is something since last we talked to now that definitely has shifted my perception of like, I'm wealthy already. Like I already have so much in my life. Like
that's so true.
It was a big reality check being in the pandemic for me. And I was like, I'm golden. And I'm sure you and I both meet so many rich people. When I'm saying rich, I'm saying like financially rich. They're stacked and they're fucking miserable. Or they're alone, or they're alone. Like we DJ their parties and you see them, they're like doing just endless drugs. Their kids don't give a shit about them.
Or they don't give a shit about their kids.
They don't give a shit about their kids.
And it's so much about money and what you have and showing off and all the stuff that I mean, I was talking to my son last night, like as he was falling asleep, because we were looking at all the football. He's very into sports. But football trades, and you know, he's like, well, how much is this contract and how much does Von Miller get? And then I was explaining to him about agents and managers and lawyers and how much they take. Because he's like, well, he got $117 million. And I was like, yeah, but you know, you have to realize like he has to pay taxes on it, and then his agent takes 10% of that. I'm sure he has a lawyer that did it that took 5 to 10%. Probably has a manager helping him out with things, and so you know that could be $30 million like after, you know.
And he's like.
And but at the end of it, I was just saying, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to look at all these contracts and it's impressive, but really you just need to do the thing that you want to do, and the money will come at the end, you know, and it doesn't even matter about the money at the end of the day. It does. We got to pay for things. But like you said, you have to find that balance. Otherwise, you'll just be super rich and unhappy, or have no money and be unhappy, you know, and lonely. You just have to find that balance and
understanding that, like, I understand, like, the journey on this ride is like the happiness of it. Like, I like that I'm still curious about trying to get on USBs. I like that's priceless shit to be DJing this long and to still be like, hey, 17-year-old kids, sit down and teach me REKORDBOX. Like that's, you know what I mean? Those are like the exciting part, because I think a lot of us can get blindsided in the fact that, like, we think like, oh, if I get that one festival gig, I did it, I got it. It's like, then what? Right. It's not going to end. There's no
ending.
There is no ending.
It just keeps going, and the ride is, you're right. We get so caught up with the past, the future, and all that, or what's happening right now, or what I'm stressed out about for the future. No. And you really have to look at what's going on here and stay curious. Stay like I went and just you know, I got to meet Kilmore, the Incubus, DJ. Of course. Through this show virtually, and then we realized we live really close to each other.
Love that dude.
And we were like, yo, let's link up, you know, for food or this and that. And then I was like, I'm also down to just have a scratch session and mess around with like DJ stuff and see what you've been doing, what I've been doing. So we ended up doing that, like, you know, you used to do in your 20s or a teenager, like just meet up for a scratch session. And we had so much fun. Like, we were going through the S11, and he was showing me, you know, they're practicing, they're rehearsing to go out on these shows for tour. He was showing me stuff they were doing, and then I was showing him things I learned, and he's showing, you know, just that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that, you know. And then I, like, James Hype showed me some crazy thing on this show with that mixer, but also with the I figured out how to do it on the S11.
Okay, teach me after this.
It's crazy because he changed the tempo. Like, he was playing a house song, and then he put an acapella loop, and then he did that thing on the CDJ where you keep making the loop smaller and smaller, and it makes that sound.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it started doing a cutting sound, you know, like you would do with the crossfader.
Like a transform
and
almost?
Then the tempo went up from 128 to like 170, and then he dropped in a drum and bass track, and it was perfectly on. Like, and I was like, how the hell did you do that? Because I looked online, I saw someone say to put it to the 1/3 setting and all this stuff. And he was like, no, I use the trans effect on the mixer. And I upped the tempo. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. So I switched on the S11. I made the phaser the trans effect instead. And then, like, let's say you put like the Fugees, like, ready or not, here I come, gonna find. And then you loop like find, and then find, and then put the trans on, and it'll start going at 128, and you can switch to 1/8, you know, and then you can up it to, like, you know, what would be 180 or something, and then drop in a hip hop song that's like 90 beats per minute, and you can instantly do this thing. It's like a lot to do, but it's kind of dope. And then I was showing him that, and then it was crazy because he showed me this one song that in Incubus they take the lead singer's voice and make a very similar sound to that, and I was like, yo, you could like freestyle and do some crazy shit. But
it's from one of their like earlier albums.
And in the show he was showing me he has the voice, and then it goes and I was, so then we were like recreating it with the thing, but it just was what you're saying. It was the curiosity and the fun factor of like things that we would do when we were 16. Like, I think even his wife was like, what are you guys doing? Nerding like out. You know, but I'm nerds. Like literally just messing around, having, you know, she's like, you're having a scratch session, like,
we said that we're nerds. At the end of the day, we're DJs are nerds.
Yes, exactly.
We're nerds. Yes. If in the sense of maybe our era of DJing, that's some nerdy shit, dude.
Very
no one
much.
Knew what we were doing. It wasn't a cool thing. We were in the corner.
There was never a DJ that had muscles when we were coming up. They were either super fat or super skinny.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to be a DJ, there'd never been a DJ with muscles, I don't think.
No, like then we were
like
young.
we didn't have time to work out. Like we were carrying the crates. Maybe that gave us a little bit, but like
exactly. And you knew who the real ones were at the end of your gigs because they were still there to help carry the crates out. Because most of your friends were ghosted. They were gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Or trying to hook up with girls, or drinking, or doing whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that curiosity factor that you have. That's in everything, and I think that's why DJs like Beat Junkies have a school, and they seem so motivated by it because they're able to give back and feed into the curiosity of others, and create this school and create this legion of DJs that will come and do dope shit like them. You know,
exactly. That's still what's keeping me like going as a DJ is the curiosity.
Would you ever do like a master class or some sort of like education thing?
I don't even know what I'm doing. I just told you I played a song twice when I'm DJing. Who am I to tell you?
That's the lesson right there. I learned from that. I'm going to look at my
DJs
shit.
is what you do. You don't play the same song twice that you just played. That's my master class will be all the fails and stuff like that, which I'm proud of because it still shows that I'm like we're human, right?
Well, I guess yes, we're human. Yeah, I mean,
it's that humanly song. I'm only human. I'm born to make mistakes. Like, that's what it is. Like I like those moments because it's like shit. I gotta learn that, and I had to figure out why. And like, so I those are all lessons. Even in business, everything that I've failed in and like trying to get off the ground is like it's all lessons that I'm still learning. Yeah, I don't look at them as errors that I did. It's just more lessons in my life.
I guess what would be your version of a master class or an educational thing is the Beyond the Music retreat.
Exactly. Nice right there.
Because you did a few years ago, what was it?
Pre-pandemic, 2019.
2019. We were in Black Hawk. I'm going to split those two words up.
Colorado.
Black Hawk, if you say it too fast, sounds like something else. But Black Hawk, Colorado.
There it is, yeah.
We were up there. I had the greatest time.
Dude, it's so fun. Beyond the Music retreat.
Beyond the Music retreat, DJ Vice and DJ City came together. This was was this pre-Beatsource? I think it was.
Yeah, pre-Beatsource.
And did this convention, or what would you call it?
Yeah, I'll say like it was
another
like a
word.
Retreat.
Retreat,
It was a retreat, and
a place to learn and connect. And
outside of the technical, at the time, the technical aspect of like what a NAMM would give you, or any type of DJ convention to show you that trick that you just explained to me that I'm going to learn after this.
Yeah.
But it's like everything else, like what we're touching on, mental health, finances, and the marketing aspect that we said the DJs there have to be a little bit of everything. We have to cover every base. So
even back then, TikTok wasn't even a thing when we did that. And now, if you do well on TikTok, it's a whole new world.
There's a whole new world, whole new audience. I just started getting my TikTok going. So
I know.
Like, I don't
think it's too late. I mean,
no, I just started mine.
Dude, the live streaming on TikTok is nuts. Like, I've been looking. I watch Twitch, but I was looking at that and I'm like, yo, this is insane.
That yet, dude.
I got caught up in some crazy rabbit holes where you click that live button. There's tons of DJs on there doing stuff, and they get tipped in the same way where they're getting sent these gifts like
Twitch was
but it's different. Like you have to buy these crowns and things that you put on them.
I'm once again curious. I'm like, what is this?
Crazy, dude. And then me too. I was with a dad at soccer practice on Monday showing him because he's like,
this is where someone tunes out. They're like, oh, these guys are old.
No, he was like, you need to get on this. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Because he's very into like cryptocurrency and he's creating this whole crazy. He was at Ethereum Denver conference a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me all about all this crazy stuff. So he's into futuristic stuff as much as we're older dads at soccer practice. But I was showing him the TikTok stuff, and he was like, his mind was blown. He was like, wait, they're live. I'm like, yeah, there's 3,000 people watching this person right now.
I know there's live, but I know you could DJ.
But it's weird. Like there was 4,900 people watching like 17-year-old kids in like Southeast Asia chop logs. And like, I don't even understand.
I was watching the same thing. No, just kidding.
Yo, there's multiple streams of people opening oysters, and the people in the chat,
oysters? Yeah,
they're shucking oysters, but there's a lady on the mic like talking like, oh my God, this is such a good oyster. Here we go. Oh, you got a black pearl. And they're selling the pearls to the people in the chat or something. So like the people in the chat. It's like
breaking cards.
It's breaking cards for oysters. So the people in the chat were like, I want 10 oysters. They would pay them and they would get whatever pearls the person would shuck. And I'm like, what? Am I on Earth? Like, what is happening?
What is happening?
Yeah,
no, I didn't know about that.
I don't know.
Beyond the Music Retreat will not be shucking oysters
Sorry,
live.
I'm going on a tangent. I'm just saying, there's new things for DJs to constantly learn about. Even some of the DJs on Twitch, some of them have become huge on TikTok now. I've been watching, and I want to have some of them on to give us.
Yeah, we're going to definitely cover those bases and the new friendships that we created during the pandemic as well.
Right. So the older one you had, like you said, there was a mental health panel, which Z-Trip blew it out of the water, the amount of stuff he said, and everybody on that panel.
We had A-Track there, right?
A-Track.
We had Chucky there. And
Chucky.
We had, the list goes on.
A lot of people. And I got to moderate a panel about breaking out of the bedroom. And I think I interviewed Pedram from Tao Group and Yoni from DGI, Irie from Miami, and Echo, your manager.
Manages me as well. So we're going to cover all those bases again. Beyond the Music Retreat is coming back for 2022, which is big. Yes,
I love it.
So definitely check out the Instagram at Beyond the Music Retreat, as well as the website beyondthemusicretreat.com, so that you can get signed up.
Is there a date, or is it just
the date's coming soon, as well as location? They're locked in, but I want to make sure everybody starts following the Instagram again. So that's definitely. Maybe I'll come back for the third time on your show just to come in and say the date and then walk out.
That's it. Like crash someone else's podcast. Yeah. Just sit on their lap.
Kanye, get him a Kanye, right? Kanye moment.
Your interview's good, but you got to know July 16th we're gonna be in.
And just yell in the mic and then walk out. Be like, what was that?
It was cold there. Can we do it somewhere warm?
We're definitely gonna. I'll say that we're definitely moving locations. So location coming soon. Weather will be nice. We're not going to have no Black Hawk Down or anything like that.
Okay, Black Hawk Down. It was great, though. Like, the amount of people I met. I met DJ Kaz there. I met so many people that I'm truly friends with now and fans of, and that I still connect with now. And they were like, remember that? I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, dude, so it's such a good networking, building relationships once again to bring us all together as DJs. And, that just, like everything, the pandemic slowed us down and made us take a step back, reevaluate our lives, as we just talked about. But I feel that this one will be even stronger now. We had like close to 300 people at the last one, so this is going to be even stronger and better. I'm excited for this. Yeah,
it's gonna be hard to turn down the shots at that circle bar wherever we are.
I'll have the juice shots, the carrot juice flowing.
I know,
ginger juice.
Everyone can do shrooms or something.
We'll be in the mountains like.
It'll get too weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Okay, so because in a way that is your masterclass. That is what you're giving back with it. And I mean, I learned so much and made so many connections there. And I'm not just saying that, you know what I mean? Because I know this seems somewhat sponsored, like you're on the show and it's DJ City, but truly, even if I didn't know you guys, like I would want to be there and do it. Maybe we'll do a live podcast there.
Yes, I would be into that. Yeah, we're still building it out.
Yeah, dope. All right. Well, and like, we talked about what's changed since the pandemic. Well, also I was gonna say, like, is there gonna be any sort of NFT involvement with the pandemic? I mean, with the pandemic, with the conference.
With the conference, not that I know of yet. And even on myself, I mean, I'm semi-involved in NFTs as well. But
I know me and you talk about it a lot.
You're in a group chat with me as well.
Yeah. And some of the people in the group chat are very deep. I mean, every morning, like, I got a new Solana thing. And I'm like, I can't go that deep.
This doodle mutated into a bird, and then the value's up, and then now it's down. And it's a lot to keep up with.
It's a lot.
I keep my head and ears, my mind open to NFTs, and I'm somewhat active lightly in it. But I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a pro, so I'm not ready to sell my own NFT just yet.
I know. I mean, I just saw that Big Night Entertainment signed Dylan Francis to using a Bored Ape mixed with other things or something. And he's collaborating with the Bored Ape group, which I tried to see. I know they had, I forgot the name of the group, Escape Plan. And I saw that they DJ'd at the spot in Boston. And
Big Night.
I could only see a little kind of grainy Instagram story because I was wondering, like, what did they do? Did they have them just on the screen and the music was playing, or like how did that work? I
think that's the next wave, right? That can happen out here. That there can be
it's like gorillas,
right? Virtual performances. I'm surprised the hologram performances have been taken off. We only saw Tupac once and then it vanished.
I know,
but
they were saying for Super Bowl, but it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't happen. What the hell? Our Nate Dogg should have came out.
But that's crazy to see, right?
And that's coming into our world as well. Like, DJs like Blau as big in the NFT space and all. That's why I can't speak on it, because I don't wrap my head around everything yet. And there is,
of course,
and it's still such a new frontier, right?
Yeah,
of everything that's happening. And
I mean, you're learning REKORDBOX and other stuff.
Right. And Snoop Dogg just bought Death Row, and he's about to release it as an NFT.
He already did.
label.
I listened to a few of the songs. He put out the Death Row NFT anthem and another thing, and I was listening to. You can buy him. Like I saw a few.
Wow.
He collaborated with the Clone X NFT project, and then they made songs and put it out, and it's on OpenSea, and he's going nuts.
How can you get that high and still execute so many business? That's so good. That's like
I mean, that's Snoop Dogg. That's like he's one in a
I'm over
trillion.
here having cold brew, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can get a lot done today.
Oh my God. I mean, well, coffee, you're still in the coffee game, right?
My caffeine intake and my sweet tooth intake is like,
that's gone up.
That's what I have to balance out now. Yeah.
That's funny. That's like my wife. She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't do anything. And like everyone's always like, come on. And she's like, I like sweets. And I'm like, okay, that's your thing.
Sweets
I guess.
And coffee, man.
Yeah.
That's showing my, that's my age now. Like, yeah, look, give me some sweets.
I got this new coffee that I'm drinking at home. It comes in these frozen pods.
Oh, wow.
Which sounds not good, but it's truly some of the best. I'm not getting paid. I do want to get sponsored by this company.
What's it called?
I think you pronounce it Cometeer. It's like Cometeer, I think, or Cometeer or something.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like, it tastes like when you go to like Blue Bottle or one of those amazing places and just get the best coffee ever, but you have them in your freezer in these tiny concentrated things. You boil water, and then you like loosen up. You put a little hot water on the outside of the container for a second to loosen up the frozen thing. Pop it in the mug, and then pour like 8 ounces of hot water on it. All of a sudden, it's like the best, freshest cup of coffee. Like they flash froze it. I don't know. Like I haven't used my Nespresso machine or gone to like a fancy coffee spot in a minute, because I'm like, and then the coffee snob people I know, they're like, come on. I give it to them, and they're like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah,
so, and it's like a subscription.
I'm a coffee snob now.
I'll give you a few pods, and you can see what you
think. Lace me up. You're my dealer
and
now?
then you can use my code.
There
and
here's 3 pods.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 only.
Yeah. Start slow.
It's crazy, though. Like, I don't know. So,
my coffee intake is high. My sweet tooth intake is high. So there will be all that at the conference, at the retreat.
We got to have a station.
Yeah, plethora of coffee.
I know. That's like Miles Beard. Like, he's so into the coffee game. It's like insane. Like the bearded barista.
It's that, that for me, and I'm still big on tacos, as everyone knows. Like, that's been my thing. Like, I was doing electric taco pre-pandemic, so I want to bring that back as well and roll around with people and get tacos and do that. But like, that's my happy place. Coffee, sweet tooth, tacos, I'm set.
Yeah, I mean, my son,
put me in the metaverse with those 3 things, I'm ready to go.
Yo, shit, open a metaverse spot that has virtual tacos.
Exactly.
The more tacos you collect as your character, like something good happens.
Yeah, I like that.
Taco NFTs. Yeah, I know. My son recently was like, I don't like tacos. I was like, what?
we're shipping you out of Los Angeles.
You're out of here.
Yeah, we're shipping you out of here.
I'm like, you like tacos. He likes fish tacos. Well, I'm like, yo, come on. Like, let's get you back in the taco
Start
game.
him somewhere.
Yeah,
Start
come
him
on.
somewhere.
Yo, one other thing I wanted to bring up on a somewhat somber note, but something I think we could also tell some stories out of was I had Felly Fell on the podcast, and he told some pretty incredible stories about so many LA people, but about Buys One, who just unfortunately passed away, but was such an LA legend and was so connected to all of us in so many ways, over time. And before he had passed away, he had listened to the Felly Fell show and kind of retold some of the stories that Felly Fell told me, like over text. He was like, oh, he didn't remember this right. This is what happened, and was telling me all this shit. And he told me about inviting Felly Fell to DJ Quick's house to play basketball, and that Felly busted Quick's nose with his elbow on accident, and Quick wanted to beat him up, but he was a DJ, so he didn't, and it was like this whole thing.
Whoa.
And I was like, yo, you got, I was telling him he has to come on the podcast and tell it, and, tragically, like, he's not around. But he also said, I also got other stories about DJ Vice, and Vice was DJ Quick's tour DJ.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
A lot of people don't know that.
No, that's crazy. So that's true, right? Obviously it's true.
That is true. I used to tour with DJ Quick.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and so rest in peace, Bies one, and Quick put me in the mix with Bies put me in the mix with Quick. I like to say that Bies put me in the mix with Quick, and I toured with him, and this is Vinyl days, and probably early CDJs of like being able to play some of the songs off CDJ for him to perform.
Right.
And
Before,
so I remember
instant replay.
And I remember being on the road doing different cities and different shows, and I have like a backpack, like a 555 Soul backpack full of vinyl, Quick songs. And I would tell him like, yo, I really think it would be dope to perform this song. This is what a lot of DJs play, this and that. And then I realized being on the road, certain cities, that I'm just not gangster. And there was moments that I just didn't feel safe, and I was like, "This is wild!" Like, there's some cities that we'd be in. They're like, "All right, we'd finish the show, and then we'd go to the back green room, and they're like, all right, we're gonna run out this side of the building because we entered this side, but there's a lot of people on that side that probably that we shouldn't run into,
right?
On some gang shit." So
oh
I was like,
God.
Whoa! Like, so we'd be running out of back, but I mean, I was at sessions with Quick. I remember being at Daz's house and being there with Daz, Corrupt, Quick, and like,
crazy. And
then I met Nate. And I met Nate Dogg, and a lot of people don't know I was his tour DJ as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I toured with Nate Dogg as well for a while.
Crazy.
And I did a show. I remember doing a show with him. I remember going to Nate Dogg's house to work on his show, and I was with DJ Echo, and we got to Nate's house, right? And I kind of knew Nate, but Nate's a quiet dude, and like just like small exchanges, and I like knock on the door, and we're standing there. I'm like, dude, this is so wild. I'm at Nate Dogg's house, and I'm young, and I'm radio days, and then his girlfriend at the time opens the door, and she's like, "You here for Nate?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and she probably didn't even know where it comes. She's like, "All right, cool." You could tell we're two nerdy DJs.
Yeah.
And then we like, she's like, "Yeah, he's in the room over there." And so we're like walking into Nate Dogg's house, and we walk in, and it's just Nate by himself sitting down with a bowl of like chicken and rice, eating with a microphone in front of him, cutting hooks.
No.
Yes. And he's recording. He was recording himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we walk in. He's like, "What's up, guys? Just chill, wait for me." And he's like cutting hooks, and I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy." Nate Dogg's recording hooks while sitting down. Yeah. So then we got to work. We just open up Pro Tools. Me and Echo and I got to work on his shows and kind of figure out what we like. He would ask us like, what should I perform? And like I remember telling him like, we got to do like All About You with a Tupac hook, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know." And we're like, "Yo, like all of us play that record. Like we got to do that." So it was fun, and we got to do that for like maybe a year, and I would go different shows with him and DJ.
Wow.
So yeah, that was
that's super dope.
Big moment for me as a West Coast DJ.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
I'm glad
crazy.
Bies brought that up. Yeah, a lot of people don't know I was Quick's
Yeah,
DJ
I didn't
for a
realize
bit.
that. Yeah, Bies knew so many, so tragic. Didn't get a chance to have him tell the stories. And
actually, Bies introduced me to Spin Bad.
Oh wow,
Rest in peace, Spin Bad as well.
Yeah.
He gave me Spin Bad's first mixtape, and I was like the '80s mix, and I was like,
next level.
What is this?
Right.
And I went back to Bies, like, "Oh, it's my boy Spin Bad." Like, yeah, Bies was a connector, and that was dope to meet him to meet Spin Bad, and yeah, just what a genius in the sense of in our craft. If you have not heard those Spin Bad mixes, please DJs listen to every Spin Bad mix.
Oh my God, and that's coming from doing it on vinyl too.
Yeah,
so your mind will be blown
completely. Yeah, that's a good little side fact. I don't know if you know anything else about me. I did DJ for Ashanti once, but that's a whole other story.
Really?
Yeah.
Was there any other tour DJ stuff?
Shade Shiest, Ashanti.
Damn. Shade Shiest.
Baby Bash. I went on a Germany tour with Baby Bash and Frankie J.
Wow.
Yeah. Damn. I think that's about it. That's all. Yeah.
A lot of West Coast legends.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I remember, kind of first going to bottle service clubs in LA, and going to see you at Tuesday nights at Element, Wednesday nights at LAX, I think, or like AM would do Wednesday nights, but you would do it also.
I'd fill in, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was like such a legendary time. I was learning so much like at that, you know, just going to those Tuesday nights and watching you kind of run that whole huge, it seemed huge at the time, you know, which it's now sound nightclub.
Element is.
Yeah. And, you know, that was just such a crazy time. You know, I think I remember meeting probably Eric Deluxe and maybe Five and everybody there.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that there's so many DJs that you're mentioning that are still like doing what we do, and just it shows the longevity you can have as a DJ if you're really in this to be a DJ and for the craft of it, like not the glitz and glamour in the sense of what social media has brought to this craft, which is there, right? It does exist. We see there's stars that rise in the DJ world like overnight, but like that's a dime a dozen, and that doesn't happen all the time. So it's like if you're in this career to be a DJ, there is longevity in it as long as you, I think we touched on a lot of it, have the curiosity, have the drive, you know, have the relationships, and at the same time, you're not chasing money. You're not chasing that next paycheck, you know?
You just want to progress. I mean, it's like we were saying, Five and Deluxe, you know, like they're making their own clothes. Like they're just doing so much creative, dope, fun stuff, you know, like Deluxe, you see them painting and like doing all kinds of stuff. But that's how you can stay creative and stay, you know, hopefully happy and
build your brand into different avenues and, you know, like, and be able to figure out what else is out there, because there's so many people we get to meet and so many, you know, different opportunities we get. You know, you and I were speaking off camera about different ways to, like, you know, maybe, you know, you could do music for a restaurant, a hotel. You could, you know, I opened a sneaker business at one point. I used to be part of that. I ran that for years. You know, I've tried different things that I've also always related around my brand and who I built as a DJ. And I think that's a good point to bring up for DJs, to like start understanding your brand, like to know who you are. You know, I'm a runner. I like to run. I use that for my brand as well. Like, and did meetups where we would all meet up and go on a run together. And like, so I think there's so many like different avenues that you can branch out and do as a DJ now.
Yeah, and like you said, connect other things that may not be DJ related and make them DJ related, you know, and then you can connect with other industries, and you connect with running industries or you know, from
5-4,
yeah. I still say 5-4, even though it's not 5-4.
Or Menlo Club,
and
group chat,
group chat, and like, you know, and then collaborate in different ways, and have the taco show, and you're always willing to experiment. I mean, I saw you during the pandemic with the damn backpack, streaming myself, walking around LA,
going through City Walk by myself, and like just doing shit. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to, like, first of all, like I said, get out of my comfort zone and do something different and try. But I mean, even this, like, you did a podcast. Like, me and you live so close to each other. I just drove 45 minutes over here to sit down with you and do a podcast where we live right next to each other.
I got to build a studio in my house.
But I'm just saying, like, it's like, you know, you did a podcast. Now you're sitting with so many different DJs, probably DJs you never even met.
So many of them that I never met, never thought I would meet.
Now you're exchanging music and DJ tips and advice. So like, and like I brought up, I did Electric Taco for years, and I still want to bring that back again well. But like now, like some of the celebrities I've met in clubs, I've used that to my advantage to go grab tacos and talk to them and build a friendship and relationship outside of just a nightclub passing. Oh, hey, good to see you. Nice to see you. And like, we don't know shit about each other. But
you
now
can't even hear shit in the nightclub.
Right. And you know, one of your boys, I got to take Travis Barker out and go get tacos. And realize how picky he is as an eater.
Oh my God, very. Well, he's vegan, but he's also picky.
He's definitely strict. I was like, he was really strict. And Perez Hilton, I took on the road to, like, we went and got tacos. And then
he's very strict.
No, he just didn't eat. I was like, dude, what do you want to get? And he's like, oh, I'm not eating. And I go, like, in my head, I'm like, this is part of the show, right? I thought you're going to eat. He's like, no, I'm on a strict diet. I don't eat this and that.
He's like, I don't want to be filmed eating and have people look, you know,
So
take
we
a
were sitting
screenshot
there.
of like,
I'm eating like al pastor tacos dripping like sauce all over
And
me.
he's
And
just
he's like
like-
just standing there watching me. Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, Travis, I remember going on his tour bus and like, I'm like, yo, this is going to be amazing. There's food everywhere. And it was just like seeds and nuts and like, you know, I was like, okay, I got to get used to this life. Here we go. People are already telling me I'm skinny. I'm like, yo, I need like fatty type.
bison burgers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, man, just using, you know, different avenues that you can do. And, and yes, we're talking like a grand scale of stuff we're doing, but there's so much you can do in smaller markets in your backyard.
Yeah. What are you going to do on TikTok? What's your plan?
I'm about to go hit that street corner and do a dance on the corner in a furry bunny costume. Hey.
Under the gas sign.
Yeah,
Be like, gas prices so high, doing a dance, make them go down. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's...
But you got to keep, I think, for myself, and I believe you as too, is just like, you just got to keep rebranding yourself, reimagining where you can take your career, being curious, and just because I love DJing. I still want to DJ parties. I would still want to DJ. I have friends that are in this industry that don't really care to DJ and they still just DJ, but like, I truly want to DJ.
Right. Me too.
Like, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
That's what it was from when I was a kid till now. It's like, it's, we're lucky enough that in this field of work that we do, you don't have to age out.
Especially,
go back to the athletes we talked about, you can age out of your sport.
Yeah. And they used to be like older DJ thing, but now, and it's still a thing, I'm sure. Like,
dude, I saw Carl Cox the other day at a restaurant. I fanned out. I was like, oh shit, there's Carl Cox. Damn.
I mean, that's the only thing you'll learn about TikTok is that the number to show people are old is 30 for some reason. Everyone's like, damn, you're like 30. I'm like, I'm way older than 30. So they're like 30-year-olds be like, and they're like struggling to carry things. I'm like, 30-year-olds? Like, what are you talking about?
But I mean, look, Guetta, Tiesto, still
it's
going.
the truth.
I said Carl Cox. I said there's, I mean, you list it out.
Right.
You don't have to age out.
Yeah, if you stay in the same thing, you will age out in a way because your mind will just get stagnant. But you know, you're putting music out. Like you have, you've constantly been putting music out. But I see that you're in the studio all the time.
Yes.
And I heard the song that you're going to put out soon.
Bum, bum.
Yeah, I played it a couple times.
Nice, thank you.
In Vegas.
You know, DJ City has a Beatsource is on there as well. And during the pandemic, I had zero desire to try and work on music. I think all of us were like, we don't even see the light at the end of this tunnel for a while. But now, you know, I've connected back with a couple different producers I work with and started working on music again because I'm also very transparent. Like I work with the right people. Like I don't claim to be like, oh, I can do this all myself. Watch a movie, look at the credits. Tons of people work on shit. Like,
yeah, of course.
That's what it's about, and finding the right people to work with.
Also, your brain is like no other brain, like the DJ Vice brain and the DJ brain. Like, so even if you're working with a producer, the same way you were telling Nate Dogg what to do, or the same people big artists hit me up and have me do their show a lot of the time. You know, I won't like, and I think they're coming to me because they know I've played a lot of things out and I know the reaction. So that's something no one else could bring to the table, and you can and that the producer would never understand. You know that, well, this part will be too long, or the crowd will die out at this, and then you can go try it out that weekend, and then come back and say, "Yo, this didn't work, and this part killed it." And keep working at it.
And that's such a good point you bring up, even for DJs in smaller markets. Yeah, like, dude, you're so valuable playing that same spot week after week after week, and hearing your crowd react and moments you might tank the crowd. You're like, oh, that tanked because this song or that moment, or I wish this edit would have been like this. Like, that's all such valuable knowledge to sit in a studio and be able to listen when people work on records. So even if you know a producer in your local area, dude, go in there and sit with them and be like, well, this is what I think as a DJ, because I'm out playing 3 nights a week in our backyard in this market, and I have this knowledge, and you can test it out. Yeah. So
I think there's so much of the keeping it real thing that maybe keeps people away from it, where it's like, yo, if you got a friend that's way more into producing and you're way more into DJing, it's a great combination. You don't necessarily have to be completely equal in all of the buttons you push.
That's just been a big, like, kind of like hidden thing in our industry. Like, oh, I worked.
Well, some of these huge EDM DJs don't do anything, which is fine, but it's been a thing. Like, that's why they're really good look. Like I said, there wasn't DJs with muscles, or like,
I don't have the hair to whip my hair back when I'm DJing or tie it in a bun.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, you look at them and you're like, okay, they look like a model, and then and then they have the business behind them to
right. Yeah, there's different ways to do it. But yeah, I got music coming, man. I'm excited about it.
Dope.
I'm excited that I'm being able to play in a new residency at Zook and just being able to try new records out, test new records. What I'm gonna do is start testing them on TikTok, in the sense of like putting them up there and seeing before they even come out, like putting up snippets and seeing if they get shared, if people react to them, and
that's what
almost
the
being
labels,
my metric meter, right?
Yeah, that's what everybody's looking at. I've been talking to people that work at record labels, and they're like, "Man,
is it working on TikTok?" Like,
yeah, they're like, well, they're just like, we can't move the needle with a song blowing up like on streaming without it getting big on TikTok also, or first. That's like our way to. I mean, find
A-Craze was a big song. The Do It to It, like the Do It, like that record was popping on TikTok, right? And then it kind of went, right? Yeah. So I definitely want to start testing those out. I'm blessed in the sense of I have a big room that's Zook to test these out and hear how they really sound. And
it's kind of cool to test them on all the places, from Twitch to TikTok to Zook, to anywhere you're playing.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, music, definitely I'm excited for that. And I mean, I'm back and got me out of my comfort zone again. I keep using that as far as like I'm excited to be out again.
Yeah, that's a running theme on so many of these episodes, because we have successful people on, and that is really a running theme with successful people, is just not getting stuck in the complacency and coming out of your comfort zone and just doing shit you don't feel totally confident about. I mean, even yesterday, like, I got hit up. It was crazy. Someone hit me on Instagram. I almost thought it was a fake thing about DJing a gig. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I passed it off to my booking agent. He vetted it out. He's like, it seems real. And I got on the phone with the person yesterday, and she's like, we want you to do a virtual gig for our company. And, you're going to it's pre-recorded. One set is 15 minutes. The other two sets are 5 minutes each. 5 minutes. And, but I had to, well, I'm not sure if she's listening to this, but I had to just sort of like explain things in a way where I was like, we can do this, we can do that. And like some stuff maybe I hadn't totally done, but I want to say we can do it because I'm sure I'll figure out a way. Like I've had to do that with other events. They're like, can you have 2 co-hosts on the screen on Zoom and this? And I'm like, of course, I've done that before. And I'm like, I had never done that before. When I try, and I had to call people and help me out.
But you can do it.
Exactly. Like, you just put yourself out there as like, all right, let's just figure this out.
You also said something like, and call people. That's one thing that I'm not
help.
afraid of.
I
will ask for help. I'm comfortable with the fact that I don't know.
Right.
I'm very comfortable with the fact that I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I will.
Well, like you called me, like, yo, you want to figure out how to do music for a restaurant and a big place, right?
Yes, and you've done that,
and I've done that, and then the person that kind of helped me and showed me, I was like, oh, this is what I did with them. You should call them, and then exactly, like we're all here to help each other, and we all want to see each other do good.
Dude, yes, 100%. And if you have that fear to ask for help, that's going to be a problem in your career.
Yeah. No, yesterday, shout to Complexion in London. He called me because he got booked for a BAFTAs party, which he's probably DJing right this second. I don't know. The BAFTAs is like the Oscars in England, I think.
Okay. As you can see, that's not on my wish list yet, but I'm going to
I only know because I do a lot of these award show after parties, and I had to meet with this huge head of an agency once, and he was like, oh, we just came from the BAFTAs.
So what does he need? What did Complexion need?
Well, so he had never done a party like that, and he said, oh, I talked to D. James, and I talked to Khalil and a few people, and they gave me their advice, but then D. James was like, you should talk to Spider. This is what he does. He's like, so I was like, I don't know, but then I figured I'll just call you. And I'm like, I'm so glad you called me because I love this conversation, so I just told him everything I'd learned, my thought on it, how much faith I have in him, and even to realize at these events, it's not all about you. You know what I mean? It's not you on the flyer. You're not in Vegas. Like you're a background part of this event. So don't get over yourself a little bit. Don't put too much on it. And also trust the fact that they called you in to do this and that you're dope. You know what I mean? Right. So
that's a good point right now. Trust the fact that they called you to do this, and you got to believe in yourself.
You really do. Yeah.
Because there is moments they're doubting you.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Right. And that's what I said to him too, is that some of these events, I get the whole crowd going crazy and the people are like, you're the best. Some of these times, no one's dancing and they're like, what's wrong? And I said, the times when they're not dancing, you just have to make sure you're playing stuff that you feel good about, that you can be passionate about and look like you're at least having fun DJing.
Yes.
Because I've had people come up at like HBO Golden Globes and they're like, man, no one's dancing here, but you look like you're having so much fun and we just love watching you and love sitting here. And I'm like, okay, there you go.
Right.
Because you got to give them something, you know,
Yes.
like, because sometimes it's just like schmoozeville and they're just talking and,
You know, that's another thing you got to, I like that we're dropping all these little gems for DJs. Another one is there's schmoozeville. And it's also, you also have to be able to, in this industry as a DJ, be able to put up with a lot of bullshit.
Yes.
You have to be able to like, just kind of let it go sometimes. And like, and in the sense of there's so much bullshit you're going to hear in your ears from a promoter coming like, dude, you should play this right now and blah, 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 blah. Then I just like, all right, cool. Yeah. Like, it doesn't mean I'm going to go and do that. I'm not a yes man in the sense of, okay, let me play this right now. But like, you just got to like listen to the bullshit. Yeah. And just let it go. From me going to maybe a bottle customer that's full of themselves and da-da-da. And you're like, I came to see you and I bought all this bottles, da-da-da. And you're like, cool, great, thank you, like appreciate it. Because it's a lot of bullshit you're just gonna like soak in. And that's wear and tear on you in a sense. But like it's semi part of everything that I'm out there doing, right? Yeah. And in every DJ, like from the local guy, they have to listen to the drunk local that comes in all the time and yells at them at the bar. Yeah. You should be playing this shit. This will kill it right now. And you're like, okay, cool, bro. Thank you. Got it.
It's crazy. You're right. So much bullshit from the outside and then so much bullshit from the inside of your own brain, like telling you, you know, because even that was what he said. He goes, well, I told him all this stuff and he's like, yeah, but my last 2 or 3 gigs didn't go well. So now I'm like tripping out. I go, it doesn't matter. Like that happened to me too a few weeks ago. I had 2 really bad gigs. I was going into a big gig after that I was tripping out about. I ended up having a great gig on that one. But you just have to believe in yourself and realize that you're good. You've made it this far. Everyone's going to have bad gigs. And your brain's going to try to trick you into the one person that said something negative rules out the thousands of people that have said positive things. Like you have to, it's like a practice of like creating this force field that can like let those things bounce off your brain. And otherwise you'll go
those bad gigs that you have that you keep remembering. No one fucking cares. No one's thinking about you like that. No one's remembering no one's waking up and be like, damn, remember that Spider set? That shit sucked. Right. Like it's you. Right. It's you listening to all your own bullshit. So like that is another big thing is like no one cares about you that much. Yeah, like exactly. About people love you and people want your well-being and all that, but no one's dwelling on the fact that like, damn, his website's not up to fucking par. Like this is like you are giving yourself that criticism and it's only you that wants to be better, of course, which is good. Like I want to improve on every different angle. Yes. But like no one's caring about you that much.
Think about how much you're thinking about yourself. They're thinking about themselves that much. You know, it's like and even in trying things out in clubs and being out of your comfort zone, but like things going not well, like it's fine. You can come back from it, you know, and people remember the good stuff. And with putting out music, like you could put out songs that do great and songs that don't do great, but those ones will just kind of fade out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No one's going to pull that out and be like, look at this bad thing
do you remember
made.
This bad one, Chainsmokers? We remember you.
Or movies. I mean, I was just listening to a podcast called Smart List. It's so funny. And it's a few actors and they're talking about movies they've done that are just the worst and other ones that were huge. And it was funny to listen to them talk about it because obviously you'd be tripping out. But yeah, they're like, oh, that did horrible. That bombed, you know. And
no one remember, like, back to the sports things. Are we sitting here talking about LeBron James losses and losses? Like, dude, like.
Right. And the people that do focus on that have too much time and are just haters.
Exactly. Like, and that's where you don't even, those aren't the people that are on your support team.
Exactly.
So who
cares? There's a whole world of haters that will just dedicate their time to.
Or we'll say, or the mad DJs. They're the mad DJs. And I don't need to be around mad DJs.
No, exactly. No. And I'm open.
And we all know who we all know a mad DJ.
Or ones that hate on just like new things, like, oh, she's hot. that's a hot girl. That's why she's here. It's like, maybe not. You know what I mean? Or like that dude's famous.
Or she got the gay guy, or he got this because of that. Or like,
right. At this point, whatever. Just worry about yourself and make shit happen yourself, or go do something else.
Yeah, exactly. There's tons of other things to do. Yeah. I saw at Starbucks that was offering a bonus if you want to sign up there.
Yo, Chick-fil-A raised their rate to, I don't know, the minimum wage. My son, we were driving by, he's like, oh, they put minimum wage, they put 50 cents. I've never seen that. I was like, damn, what are you looking at?
Damn.
He's obviously obsessed with money things, but I don't know if that'll be good. I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, professional soccer player and businessman. I was like, all right. I'm like, they kind of go hand in hand. I'm like, you can do the soccer and then go into be the businessman. As he was
tying his tie, you're like, who is this kid?
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm with you, man. Yeah, you are way better at math than me. So
so is my kid. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had to help him with his math homework last night and I felt insecure. I was like hiding my calculator thing down below and I'm like, yep, you did get that. Because he was like, how many yards? And then the feet. And then I'm like, all you have to do is divide it by 3. And then I had to turn around and do the thing. And I was like, yep, you got it. 16 in 1 foot. And
tell him, can't you ask Siri all this shit?
Yeah, he can. That's the problem. You can ask Alexa. So I'll do that sometimes.
It's tough because like, dude, I was the worst student. Like, I barely made it out of high school. I didn't go to college. I was just I only had option A, B, and C, and that was DJ, DJ, and DJ. So like that was my focus, and luckily it panned out. So, but I mean, schools. I just also feel school's not for everyone. And there's a YouTube school. You could just sign up for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a master class on what you need.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He's good. He's gonna be great. I mean, you know. All right. Well, I looked through. There were some people that had asked in the last thing, but actually, we got to get out of here. We got to go pick up our kids.
We got parent duties.
We're parents. We're talking about our kids, and we got to get out of here.
Yeah, look at this. You got parent duties.
I got parent duties.
Are you on pickup?
I'm on pickup. Yeah, my wife's in Montana, so I've been on single dad mode all week.
Okay. Can I fire off some questions to wrap this up as well?
For me? Yeah. Yes. Let's do it. Yeah.
Best airport food. What city?
Yo, the airports have stepped up their game. So, even LAX.
No, really? Okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay,
go ahead. I want the exact place and airport.
Well,
because I know What do you land anywhere and you're like, oh, I'm excited to eat this?
No, it used to be that Frontera Grill in Chicago.
Yes, good
because that was one of the only places ever that had good food before.
Why is it used to be?
Because now I feel like there's more. Like when in that end part of the LAX, maybe it's United. That's what it was.
Okay,
there was one part for a while at LAX, and they had Loteria and some good stuff. But I mean, Frontera is like
Frontera
my spot. Yeah, that's my spot.
ORD Chicago Airport.
Exactly, me too.
All right, best travel hack. Do you have any type of travel hack, a travel secret, or a travel tip?
Oh my God, I have a ton, but let me think.
Want me to give you one?
Yeah, you say one.
You check into your hotel, and 9 times out of 10, maybe there's a free bottle of water, or the bottle's like $9.
Yes.
You go to the gym, and there's always free water in the gym 9 times out of 10.
Okay,
so go to the gym and get free water, and they might even have a banana or like an orange.
Oh my God, a banana?
Yeah.
And then ask the front desk person too. I've noticed, like when I stayed at the Delano Hotel in Vegas, and the guy's like, "Be careful if you move any of the waters in the mini bar. It's so expensive." And I go, "Oh, what else can I do?" He goes, "I got a ton back here. Just come ask me." And I go, "Oh, well, just give me a bunch from my bag right now." So he gave me like 5 waters, and I was like, "All right, thank you." So ask the front desk people for water. But I mean, oh man, I have so many travel hacks, but I can't. Think of any of them,
especially because you do these magazine reviews inside the airport. I thought you live in airports as well. So
I mean, find something to kill time with, and pretend you're imitating a magazine cover.
Yeah.
No, I mean just damn, I don't know. I'm falling apart with the travel hack.
I like that. You like interviewing. Now you're like, wait, the tables have churned now.
I'm also like, how can I not think of like 10 things right off the top?
How about travel with sweats that have zippers, because you end up dropping things out of your pockets?
100%. I have my travel sweatpants with zippers because I've straight up lost things.
Yeah.
And
want me to tell you another one?
Yeah.
I'm dropping these.
Yeah.
Don't put your laptop. There's a horror story that happened to me on the side of your legs before you take off, because
it'll slide back.
Well, I think what happened was I fell asleep before takeoff, and the lady that sat behind me thought someone left their laptop, grabbed it, gave it to the flight attendant before we took off from LAX to Miami. I'm asleep with noise-canceling AirPods. They said, "Is this anyone's laptop?" Nope. They leave it at LAX and the plane takes off, and I land. I sleep the whole flight. That's what I always do. And my laptop's not there. And then the lady behind me goes, "That was yours?" "Oh, I turned it into the flight attendant." I go, "What?"
Oh my God.
And I landed in that city with no laptop.
What happened?
I had to start calling all my DJ friends, relationships. Dude, can you send me Dropbox links of just a bunch of music? Just put like whatever your current, like, so I have 4 DJs like sent Dropbox links, and then I had to like download it and put it on my tour manager's laptop, which was like a 2012 MacBook Air, and like cross my fingers like and hope this little thing's gonna work through the night. And it was at Live Miami. Crazy. And I powered through the night.
At Live Miami too.
At Live Miami. It was like one of my first shows back, and my laptop was gone.
Oh my God, what a nightmare. Well, also just get, if you can afford it, TSA pre-check and clear. Having those changes your life.
TSA pre-check and clear, game changer.
Pre-check at least. That's easy and cheap. Clear, a little more expensive, but definitely worth it. Except I have been in about 3 or 4 clear lines lately.
And for like up.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what's up? Now we're gonna have to get Clear Plus or something, and like pay more.
No, man.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and just searching. I don't know. I don't have a lot right now, but
we're gonna have to do a travel episode one day.
Yeah,
together
it's true. I got to do
tips.
like theme. Yeah, I got to write them out.
Yeah.
You got any other ones?
This is my last one. One guilty pleasure record that you play?
Oh God, you're killing me. Okay.
And it could be like, it's like we all love it. Like, I think I haven't played in a while, but I definitely want to bring it back. But like my guilty pleasure, I really do love Since You've Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson.
I love playing that record.
Such a good song.
Everybody sings along. It's incredible,
But like I've always loved that from day one.
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, dropping in some Backstreet Boys, Everybody or something.
You crushed that set. When I was at Tal, you went into like a pop lane. I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah, Tal's been fun, man. I just kind of go crazy. That's why when I got to Marquee, I was like, okay, do I need to be full on big room? But like, I started real big room, and then I realized, all right, I can still go all over the place.
It's what you do.
And like Little John was there, so I was like, I just went into a Little John set, and I'm like, snap your fingers, B.I.B.I., and you just start looking around as a DJ and realizing what you can do. I tried not to drink too much. I think I had like one or two shots.
With Lil Jon, that's dangerous.
He was in his own world.
Okay.
But it's still a lot going on. Like you said, they're like, all right, say happy birthday, KD. Go here. That table's doing this. We're shooting the thing. That's
4 jumping jacks, 10 dip. You're like, whoa, gotta do everything.
Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, that's... man. Yeah, yo, thank you.
I'm glad I put you on the spot at the end and
threw
you out of your comfort zone.
Oh my God, I'm really out of my comfort zone. I need to make those lists for people. Hit me with this travel hack,
Yeah, exactly. The rapid fire
questions are good.
Pass.
Amazing. So what's next?
Well, next is Beyond the Music Retreat, which I'll see you in person. We'll announce the exact dates. Make sure you're following that.
Dope.
If you're not, you should follow at Beyond the Music Retreat and sign up. The registration form's going to be up there soon. But my singles out on the platforms as well as for DJs.
Is it out right now?
Not out like on DSPs, like no Spotify, no iTunes. It's just on all the record pools right now. Oh,
dope. Okay.
Just for the DJs.
I just had it from when you sent it to me.
Yeah, it's going to come out
like that.
next month. Next month it'll be out. I don't want to say the exact date, but it's coming out next month. But I wanted to just give it out to all the DJs first and get it out there. And it's a flip of B2K, bump.
Yeah.
So the Omarion virus was
great.
Popping when it came. When I started working on
virus.
When I started working on it, it was like the Omarion virus is out. Like, let's go. This is a bump chance.
Let's hope no more virus.
No, we're back.
Holds us back.
We're out. There's no mask mandates everywhere I've been going. So that's a nice thing to see everybody's faces in the club again.
Yeah,
so,
we're back here. We're doing a podcast in a closed room.
Yeah.
Things are good.
We're living, man. We're living. I'm happy to be out of it. It's a whole different vibe than our 2020 last pod that we did.
Way different.
Yeah.
Like that was, we were talking about wiping down groceries and seats and, it's
Exactly.
crazy. I'm like, we all got COVID this year. So I'm like, okay, we're set. I'm ready to go around and
we're back, man.
do whatever.
So back.
And
yeah.
Are you going to South by Southwest or any of that?
No South by Southwest. I got like a gig in Miami during Winter Music Conference or that Miami Music Week, whatever it's called
now. Yeah.
I got shows in Boston. I got shows in.
Dope.
Yeah, man. I'm back. I feel good.
Yes,
I'm blessed, man. Health is here and gigs are around the corner.
Yeah,
so.
health and the new mindset, like you're saying. Like I feel like it's good. Like even a lot of the stuff you said to me today. Yeah.
Health and wealth.
I need to get on my workout tip like you.
There you go. That's our next one. We'll do the podcast live from my running route on the reservoir as we're running.
And I need to lift weights. I guess I walked in, everyone's like, "Damn, you're skinny." I'm like, "Okay."
I thought I was fit.
I'm gonna do push-ups. At least I'm not like, "Damn, you're fat." But I mean, I don't know.
All right, next pod live from the gym. We're in.
Live from the gym.
The gym. Yes.
All right, DJ Vice. Thank you so much for coming on. Vice. It's not DJ Vice. DJ Vice on social media, but call him Vice when you see him, baby. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot. I will let's go pick up our kids.
Peace, man.
Peace. All right, DJ Vice on the podcast in person. It was like a whole new thing, so much better. I loved it, and I hope you guys did too. Thank you to him for coming on. Thank you to you guys for listening. Rate and review the podcast. Send me messages if you want to get in touch with me, and keep listening. Thank you guys. The 20 podcast is produced by Beatsource. Join us next week for more interviews as we discuss music that matters to DJs. I'm DJ Spider signing off. Peace.